What up? It's Ray V. Let's get it. Call me a lover boy, simp, Libra. It's more than love sick. I got a fever. Feelings overloading. Not to be a diva. Standing 10 toes down. I'm not gonna leave you. We are going to react to day 2 of the NFL draft, rounds 2 and 3, through a Superflex Dynasty Fantasy Football lens. So let's get it. All right, we're gonna continue right here. Round 2, round 3 is what day 2 is. If you can see right here, you got Eagle Eyes. You can see this is round 5 already. Recording this as the draft picks are going during day 3, but we will react to that in the next video. I'll probably record it right after they're done, if I'm being honest. But let's get into this. The reason I'm not wearing a Niner jersey right now, but come on, man. Sean Stribling. I know I talked about him. I believe he's in my honorable mentions, fantasy draft wise. But this guy was like a mocked 5th round, 4th, 5th, 6th round, something like that. And Niners took him first pick of the 2nd round. Could have at least traded back one more time, and maybe I would have been a little happier, but that's absurd. He was definitely mocked to the Niners a bunch of times. You know, he fits their system to a T, what they're going to use him for and everything. But at this right here, he could have took a guard right here. He could have just went edge, DT, tackle, something we actually need. But that's absurd. But with this draft capital, with this landing spot, he's definitely going to jump into getting drafted in rounds. Might even jump up into like mid-second, 206 or something. I could see it, but we'll see. Guard. Should have took a guard right here. Denzel Boston, next offensive guy. Ooh, Denzel Boston with Casey Concepcion. You know, I was pretty excited for Casey Concepcion, but now you throw Boston over there, and now it's just even more cluttered. You know, Boston's still a good receiver. You know, but now it's definitely more cluttered there. But you know who this really hurts Harold Fannin Jr. That guy, he was really good the other last year, but he thrives off of being like the only weapon, and now he's definitely has some more guys in his way, taking his target share away. It's gonna hurt. It's not looking pretty for the Browns, but it's weird because they got too many offensive weapons, and now it's not looking good, which is pretty ironic, at least fantasy wise. Next guy, Jeremy Bernard, really like him. We'll see what they do with DK Metcalf. They got to see if they're gonna keep him. They're gonna trade him. They have a 3 wide receiver set like that. I like Will Howard, but probably Aaron Rodgers gives him the best offensive outlook if he does come back. But if he doesn't come back, I think Will Howard will be competent enough to spread the ball around. So maybe they, Pittman, Metcalf, Bernard, they won't be super good, but they'll be, you know, spread. Their points will be spread out fairly evenly. Maybe Pittman gets the most of it because he'll just take all the underneath. Hopefully they don't keep DK just as a deep ball because it clearly wasn't working for them last season. That's pretty dumb to just limit him to just being a vertical threat. Stowers, this one hurt really bad when I seen it. They just what did they do? They just extended Dallas Goedert as well. I don't know if it was a 1 year, 2 year, I forget off the top of my head. But Stowers, and then you know they just took Mekhi Lemon, kind of like the same issue as the Browns, but even worse because like this is a better offense and they know their identity. They know they just want to run the ball. Took 2 good offensive fantasy weapons here and just crushed our dreams, you know. But Stowers could still, you know, he only has, if it's a 1 year of Goddard, you know, that's not horrible. You know, you just have to wait a year. Think of like Loveland from last year. You know, he didn't really turn up till the end of the year, and now look at his outlook this season. You know, like something like that. You know, tight ends aren't really supposed to, typically don't even break out their first year anyway. So he's still a good pick. I'll do a re-ranking of whoever's in the other offensive weapons, but I'll do it after, so I'm not just scrolling back and forth. Right here, Nate Bower Kirker. I believe he's just a blocking tight end because I didn't really have any notes on him. Pretty sure. Yeah, limited 417. Switching ball skills. He would drop routine passes. Yeah, it sounds like he's just a blocking tight end. You know, they already have Brandon Strange to do their work. Maybe they want to run some two tight end sets. That's cool. Uh, EMW right here, definitely. He's a safety defensive guy. Definitely thought the Niners wanted him, but this was actually the Niners pick at 58, and they traded back with the Browns so they could take him. So I guess they just never had him on their board. Guess they really believe in our DBs already, our safeties. Um, I don't remember. I don't think I had Marlon Klein. So is he a blocking tight end? Not flashy statistical production. Square up, contact as a blocker. Yeah, he's blocker guy. Max Clare, this one. Oh man, me and my brother were just laughing about the Rams having the 13th pick. I was like, dang, if they take Sadiq here, they got Terrence Ferguson, you know, who didn't even really get used. They got Higbee, and they got I forgot who else they had. They have a three-headed tight end committee over there. I forgot the other guy, and then Davis Allen as well, but he's like the fourth guy. He's just a blocking tight end. And now they got Max Clare. And this guy could have jumped up, you know, to tight end two, tight end, maybe even tight end one in, you know, rookie fantasy leagues, or rookie fantasy drafts, even Sowers too. And all three of them got really ugly landing spots. So maybe they just stay 1, 2, 3 like that. Kobe Parkinson, that was the other guy. Yeah, all four other tight ends. Come on, man. All those guys are on in 2027. All right, fair enough. 14 personnel. This is funny. This is basically what I was saying. But yeah, they just signed Higbee to an extension too this offseason, so it's very upsetting. But obviously, they keep looking at the future. You know, as a division rival, you know, I'm cool with them not making immediate moves for this season. But fantasy wise, they're messing everything up, man. They're ruining all our fantasy glory. So that's it for round two. Off to round three. So this should be a shorter one. Tomorrow's or the next video is gonna be 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm just gonna keep jumping. That's gonna be tough. But Carson Beck right here, you know, that's pretty good. I had him in the rankings. I had him in the rounds still, not in the honorable mentions. He could take like the Ty Simpson type of role where he just sits for the year, like how we were projecting already with if Ty Simpson went in the first round. He is a day or round 3, so you know maybe they just gonna have him as a cheap backup, you know, on a rookie contract. Don't have to put any money into him, into the QB2 position on their own team. But you know, he was good at one point, 6'5", 233. You know, he was projected well before. Um, so you know, he has a chance there. I probably still wouldn't have him too high. Um, maybe I don't know. Maybe they bridge him and they say if Jacoby Brissett if they can't get work on that guaranteed money or something or whatever. But maybe they do bridge him for like next season, try him out a year, suck, and then draft another quarterback. They could always do something like that. But top of the third round, first pick of the third round, you know, that's decent draft capital for a QB. That's like you know, you got a chance. You got a chance to be somebody. So that's pretty good. Sam Roosh. Don't remember. Maybe a blocking tight end. I'm assuming blocking tight end. Whenever I don't have, but I didn't go super crazy on the tight ends. Maintain blocks. Yeah, it looks like he's a blocker. All right, cool. Romello Height. Don't know too much about this guy, but sorry to jump off on the Niners again. I heard this was also a reach. They traded back 3 times, and the first 3 picks are all reaches. Crazy. Antonio Williams. This is a really good spot for him. I don't even know what I was thinking of to be a good spot for him pre-draft, but this is a really good spot. He's automatically wide receiver 2 of the team, and maybe he just takes over, you know, being the main wide receiver while Terry McLaurin, you know, takes the deep shots and takes the red zone, you know. But everything else between the 20s, Antonio Williams takes it, maybe. You know, Terry McLaurin doesn't look to be slowing down, but his production was going down. I think he was hurt a lot last season because Debo wasn't hurt. But to be crazy. Oscar Delp right here, pretty good. Pretty good landing spot. He just has to beat out Jawan Jennings, I believe. Pretty sure Taysom Hill retired. He's a pretty good receiver. Got him on the list. So you know what this draft is really helping? Tyler Shuck. Hopefully you bought low on Tyler Shuck, like I was saying, y'all. That's good. He got so many weapons, so many extra weapons. Oops, what that happened? Who's the next guy? Malachi Fields. They traded whatever round this is, third round, their current third round pick to trade back, and then or to trade up, and then I think they added 2 fifths. So Malachi Fields, I liked him. This could be a good pick. This could be like last year when the Lions traded what 3 third round picks or something like that, or 2 third round picks for Isaac Tesla, and they didn't, he used them in the red zone and everything, but or the end zone rather, but he didn't really do much. So it could be something like that. It could be, hey, they really like this guy. 2027 draft. They've had 2 fifths from the 2027 draft, I believe it was. So I don't know about that, but Malachi Field, Caleb Douglas. I hear I don't even know who this guy is. I'm not gonna lie. I was seeing people saying he's consensus 255 on the big boards, and that's like not even. That means undrafted. Yeah, ranked 26. Pretty crazy that they got him right here. Makes me feel a little less bad about the Niners. Everyone's using AI, I guess. Um, but just being on the Dolphins, it should bump them up a little bit. But there's another Dolphin guy down here that I like. Spoiler. Drew LR. I saw this video of him when he got drafted, and he was trying to put on the hat, and he did not want to put on that hat. I think he's a lifetime Browns fan, is what I read, and he's trying not to be upset, but just that's crazy. So dang, your rival team. Um, when you go to the NFL, pretty crazy. But LR right here, could be decent. Quarterback stab, quarterback dart as well. He just has to beat out Will Howard. I do like Will Howard, but Drew LR had like a more polished profile. Maybe not as of late, but coming into college and everything. So he probably has a decent chance of beating him out, especially if they run Will Howard this year and he just sucks. Maybe they just try Drew LR if they don't have a good draft pick to grab a good QB during next draft, or if Aaron Rodgers comes back and then they just have LR and Howard fighting all off season and then into the season, trying to be QB2. Maybe LR just beats him out outright. To be the heir apparent to Aaron Rodgers or something, but decent draft capital, third round, still day 2. It's pretty nice, nice enough for a dart throw, in super flex leagues, Will Howard was definitely getting drafted, so good dart throws. Last season, Zachariah Branch, Mister gets arrested for smirking on the sidewalk. Going to Atlanta. That makes sense. That's definitely an Atlanta pick. But I do like Branch. Should be pretty good. Do like Jacoby Lane more though, and he went into Baltimore, which is pretty good. He should work well with Zay Flowers. That's a pretty good pick. Um, yeah, I think that's gonna like open up their offense a lot more. Definitely. I feel like Jacoby Lane. He's gonna jump up in the rankings too. Chris Brazzell, Tennessee, or I'm sorry, Panthers. Um, they got Coker, McMillan. Yeah, you could use Brazzell right here. Not bad, not bad. Could have had a better landing spot, but targets should be open or volume. He should get a decent amount of volume. So I'm trying to think of what I was trying to say. Ted Hurst right here, third round. Oh yeah, that's what's up. Feels like he was a sleeper, and now he's definitely gonna get pushed up to not being a sleeper anymore. Same with like Antonio Williams. These guys are gonna go from sleeper to like second round in rookie drafts. Unfortunate for people who knew before, but it is what it is. At least you feel a little vindicated. You feel like you knew a little something there. But Ted Hurst is probably going to be a developmental guy. He has the traits of an X. He's probably going to sit most of the year, barely being used. But maybe he takes over. Maybe they move off of Godwin and they move everyone around. And he could be not the Godwin role, but he could be somewhere in there. Maybe they move Book over there to Godwin and McMillan on the other side. But it seems like that's what they're setting up for. They're setting up for no longer having Godwin. But I do like that pick. So he might not be good like this upcoming season, but I do believe in him for the future, for future years. Will Mark, believe you are a blocking tight end. Stays engaged with initially block. Yeah. Okay. Wide receivers, Avian Thomas. I believe this guy also was consensus. Yeah, that guy's even worse than the other guy. This guy was also consensus 250, 260, 270, whatever, on the big board, which is basically undrafted. So, and then here comes the Niners again. Crazy. Elon Black. I had him on my honorable mentions, I believe. I did like him as a sleeper, not as the third running back off the board. If the Niners didn't take him here, I don't think there would have been a running back going on day 3 or day 2, which is crazy. Rounds 2 and 3, there's no running backs. That would have been absurd. I don't know if that's the first time ever. What it would have been, but that's crazy. He does fit the Niners system. Probably was mocked to the Niners in the 6th, 7th round. Undrafted free agency. Why? Why did we pick him right here? This guy's also like 25, if I'm not wrong, or he's turning 25 during the season. That's 5 years younger than McCaffrey, I guess. But we should ban AI. Got to ban AI from the draft room because that was I don't know what the Niners are doing. Chris Bell right here. Really like Chris Bell. This is the other Miami guy I was talking about. He could totally just become the wide receiver one and just be the guy there. Even though he was drafted after whatever that guy's name was, Douglas. Crazy, crazy that he was drafted after. But it is what it is. I do like him. Eli Riverdon. He's a blocker and he does some pass catching. Don't know if I had him in my stuff. But that looks like it's it for now. Hope you guys like my thought process and analysis of day 2 of the NFL draft, rounds 2 and 3. Hopefully I gave you all some insight on how this affects rookie drafts as well. And as I was saying earlier, my current rankings for these guys are 101 Jeremiah Love, 102 Carnell Tate, 103 Fernando Mendoza, 104 Jordan Tyson, 105 Makai Lemon, 106 Casey Concepcion, 107 Jadarian Price, 108 Kenyon Sadiq, 109 Antonio Williams, 110 Eli Stowers, 111 Omar Cooper Jr., 112 Ty Simpson, 201 Jeremy Bernard, 202 Chris Bell, 203 Denzel Boston, 204 Deshaun Stribling, 205 Jacoby Lane, 206 Ted Hurst, 207 Chris Brazell II, 208 Malachi Fields, 209 Kalen Black, 210 Zachariah Branch, 211 Oscar Delp, 212 Carson Beck, 301 Drew Allar, 302 Caleb Douglas, 303 Xavier Thomas, 304 Max Clare. This draft is totally sucking for fantasy drafts, but shoot, we'll take whatever fantasy football issues we can get, man. Hey, man, it's about to be a dead period for those dead leagues that don't like the off season at all. So hey, we take it as we can get it. Don't forget your daily dose of send that trade. Send it. But I think that's all for today. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and remember, rebuilds fade, dynasties reign.